I want to thank everybody, first and foremost, for just celebrating with us. Traci was my everything. She was my...
Traci Braxton, the singer, actress, TV, and radio.
I want to start by saying thank you to everyone for being here and celebrating Traci's life with us. She wasn't just special, she was my everything. Traci Braxton, the amazing singer, actress, and TV personality you all knew from Braxton Family Values, has passed away after a brave fight with esophageal cancer. This year, we all made sure she was never alone. We took turns traveling back and forth, making sure someone was always by her side. Each of us had our own way of being there for her. We shared so many laughs with Traci, and yes, we cried too. But through it all, she felt surrounded by love. Those moments will stay with us forever. We shared so many special moments with Traci, and I know her husband, Kevin, is really having a hard time right now. I'm especially worried about little Kevin. I'm looking forward to seeing him face to face because, sometimes just hearing someone's voice over the phone doesn't really show how they're doing. You need to be there with them to truly understand. But when family struggles spill out into the public, things can get really tough. After Traci's passing, emotions have been running high, and her husband, Kevin SR, has spoken out, claiming her sisters weren't as supportive as they should have been. It's a heartbreaking situation for everyone during such a difficult time. Families should come together in moments like these, not fall apart. Kevin SR has made some serious accusations against Traci's sisters, claiming theft and manipulation, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about it. But it's deeper than just rumors. His claims are shaking the entire Braxton family's reputation. Before Traci passed, she made sure her wishes were clear by creating a will. Sadly, instead of bringing peace, it has only caused more family tension. She named her son, Kevin Jr., as the personal representative of her estate, giving him full control over her assets and final decisions. What was meant to keep things simple has now turned into a heartbreaking family conflict, making this already painful loss even harder for everyone. Kevin Jr. was given full responsibility for Traci's final arrangements, from covering her funeral expenses to deciding who could attend and even what she would wear. When asked about his mother, Kevin Jr. kept it simple, saying, "She was my best friend. I loved her, and I miss her so much." Traci had very clear wishes for how she wanted to be remembered. She didn't want a big public event, just one private viewing, followed by cremation. She was also very specific about excluding certain groups like Zeta Phi Beta Sorority and the Order of the Eastern Star from being involved in the services. It seemed like everything was carefully planned, but things didn't go as smoothly as expected, and the situation grew even more complicated. The will also outlined that Kevin Jr. would eventually take over Traci's brand and likeness. Essentially, he'd be the one to carry on her legacy when the time was right. Now, while Kevin Sr., her husband, did receive some assets like a few bank accounts and a diamond ring, the majority of her estate went to her son. "I look like I run it every day. I don't hello when we stay together at her house in the bed." Here's where the whispers start. Some fans are speculating that Traci intentionally bypassed her husband because of some. For a long time, Traci felt left out in her own family, often treated like she didn't fully belong, and it hurt her deeply. But Traci wasn't just in the background of the Braxton legacy. She had her own voice, her own struggles, and her own story that deserved to be heard and respected. Unresolved issues in their marriage. Rumor has it that Kevin Sr. cheated on her and may have even passed on HPV, which some believe contributed to her throat cancer. Now, if that's true, Traci's decision to leave Kevin Jr. in charge could have been a calculated move to protect her legacy. But let's get into the burning question: why didn't Traci leave any of her sisters in charge of her estate? Well, the word in the streets is that Traci didn't trust them at all. Allegedly, her sisters treated her very picture of how Traci was often overlooked and disrespected. Frankly and honestly, can you blame her for not leaving them in charge? It's no wonder she entrusted Kevin Jr. with everything. He's the one that stuck beside her, not just as her son, but as someone who genuinely cared about her legacy. Well, I learned from the best. That's what I'm trying to tell you, because she wants to make sure her child is doing it right. She should be saying for your food, but let's be real, Since Traci passed, stepping into his new role hasn't been easy for Kevin Jr. He's been hit with one challenge after another, and it's been heartbreaking to watch. Not only did he lose his mom, but he was also dealing with a tough divorce from his wife, Olivia Aon, at the same time. It's like the weight of the world came crashing down on him. In the first episode of the new Braxton family show, Kevin Jr. opened up about just how overwhelming everything has been. The grief, the stress, the drama, it's been a lot for him to handle, and you can see it's really taken a toll. It's a reminder that even those we see on TV go through tough times too. A lot to handle, but if that wasn't enough, Trina, one of Traci's sisters, even pointed out the strange relationship between Kevin Jr. and his dad, Kevin Sr. Apparently, they hadn't been talking much during their time of grief, which only added to the emotional chaos. One thing I've been trying to do, good friends, the family of, to help uplift me, so that's been my number one thing. And I'm also, doing my own kind of D, so to help me, my day to day. But here's where things really has been impossible to ignore. According to the showrunner, Kevin Jr. had a seizure during filming, which threw everyone into panic mode. It was terrifying in the moment as the family scrambled to find his medicine and stabilize him, but to want to share that Kevin J's then wife Olivia Heron was the one who informed her about the incident, emphasizing how much Traci's death had affected Kevin Jr.'s mental and physical health. And that's the other thing, right? Like, we all go through, parents go through, we all know that no family is perfect, and kids go through their own challenges too. It's not always smooth sailing. But if you thought things couldn't get worse for Kevin Jr., think again. New footage has surfaced showing Kevin Jr. and his father, Kevin Sr., in the middle of a heated argument. In the clip, you can hear Kevin Jr. repeatedly saying, "You told me no," while Kevin Sr. angrily calls him a liar and even blames him for Traci's cancer. The tension was so thick, it was impossible to ignore. This intense moment only made it clearer that the family is dealing with a lot more than just grief. They're caught in a web of hurt and unresolved issues. Fractured relationship between the two. Many believe this animosity stems from the fact that Traci have Kevin Jr. in charge of her estate instead of Kevin Sr., creating an unspoken competition for her legacy. It's definitely messy, to say the least. Let's do it before your mother cancer. Before my wife cancer. And just when he thought that the Braxton family couldn't be more divided, Kevin Sr. dropped even more bombshells. He came forward with claims about how the Braxton sisters have been treating him since Traci's. Traci had everything planned for her funeral with her management and PR team, but her sisters didn't agree with some of the decisions. They accused Kevin Sr. of going against Traci's wishes and causing delays. The emotions were heavy at the funeral, especially for Toni. She admitted, "I thought I was doing okay until you started talking, and it hit me hard. I miss my sister so much." Things got even more complicated when Traci's father was initially denied entry to the service because his name wasn't on the guest list. After some back and forth, he was allowed in but was seated all the way in the fourth row, which only added to the tension and heartbreak the family was already feeling. It's clear that grief, drama, and family disagreements have made this time even harder for everyone involved. Allowed to speak or share any words about his daughter, the disrespect only fueled the growing resentment within the family. When Kevin Sr. accused the sisters of painting him as a deadbeat husband in the media, he claims he was only following Traci's plan, but the sisters saw it as him taking control in a way that felt disrespectful to her memory. Well, Kevin Tina didn't hold back when they finally opened up about his experience after Traci's passing. Let him tell her he stood beside Traci through thick and thin, and he felt like nobody else truly understood the depth of their relationship. "I was with my wife more than anybody in this world. I know my wife," he stated. When Traci was diagnosed with cancer, their conversations became more serious, often revolving around funeral plans and what ifs, but through it all, Kevin Sr. made it clear that he was by her side and at every doctor's appointment, fighting alongside her every step of the way. However, after Traci's passing, Kevin Sr. felt like he was being unfairly portrayed as a deadbeat husband. He pointed out that the tension between Kevin's Sr. and the Braxton sisters became impossible to ignore, especially with their frustrations playing out on the reality show. One moment that really stood out was when Traci called Tawanda a snake for trying to set up a family intervention in Napa Valley. Tamar didn't hold back either, slamming Kevin Sr. for his criminal record during a heated argument. But what really caught fans' attention was how out of touch Kevin Sr. seemed with the family's grief. Even though he had been Traci's husband for years, he felt more like an outsider, excluded from the emotional support everyone else was leaning on. It was heartbreaking to watch, showing just how complicated family dynamics can get even during the toughest times. It was definitely a weird dynamic for men to witness, especially given how close he and Traci were throughout her life. That's the video that's been circulating on social. Ishe decide my son. Unfortunately, this video was recorded by someone within it. I'm gaining not fame of my char, well, feeling like the truth wasn't being told. Kevin Sr. took to Instagram Live to set the record straight. While he didn't spill all the tea, he gave enough to confirm the things between him and the bra and sis were far from. If that's true, it helps explain some of the deep rifts that have caused so much pain in the family. It's a tough history that adds even more weight to the struggles they're all facing now. Lot about the furry relationship between Kevin Sr. and the Braxton family. It adds another layer to the drama, showing just how far back the animosity might go, and the struggles didn't end there, because Kevin Sr. revealed that Kevin Jr. had been battling issues with alcohol since losing his mom, but grieving publicly while dealing with the weight of his responsibilities has taken a huge toll on him. Between the loss of his mother, his divorce, and the mounting family tension, Kevin Jr. has had more than his fair share of struggles, and it's been really hard for Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr. to cope with their grief, especially without the full support of Traci's family. Instead of leaning on the Braxtons, they turned to people outside the family circle to help them through this tough time. But there's more to the story. In another interview, Kevin's Sr. opened up about where the tension with the family really started. He claimed that the Braxton sisters never liked him from the start and even pressured Traci to terminate her pregnancy and leave the group years ago. "We shared so many special moments with Traci, and I know her husband Kevin is really having a hard time right now. I'm especially worried about little Kevin. I'm looking forward to seeing him face to face because, sometimes just hearing someone's voice over the phone doesn't really show how they're doing. You need to be there with them to truly understand. But when family struggles spill out into the public, things can get really tough. After Traci's passing, emotions have been running high, and her husband, Kevin SR, has spoken out, claiming her sisters weren't as supportive as they should have been. It's a heartbreaking situation for everyone during such a difficult time. Families should come together in moments like these, not fall apart. Kevin SR has made some serious accusations against Traci's sisters, claiming theft and manipulation, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about it. But it's deeper than just rumors. His claims are shaking the entire Braxton family's reputation. Before Traci passed, she made sure her wishes were clear by creating a will. Sadly, instead of bringing peace, it has only caused more family tension. She named her son, Kevin Jr., as the personal representative of her estate, giving him full control over her assets and final decisions. What was meant to keep things simple has now turned into a heartbreaking family conflict, making this already painful loss even harder for everyone. Kevin Jr. was given full responsibility for Traci's final arrangements, from covering her funeral expenses to deciding who could attend and even what she would wear. When asked about his mother, Kevin Jr. kept it simple, saying, "She was my best friend. I loved her, and I miss her so much." Traci had very clear wishes for how she wanted to be remembered. She didn't want a big public event, just one private viewing followed by cremation. She was also very specific about excluding certain groups like. It's heartbreaking to see how much this loss has affected both Kevin Jr. and Kevin Sr., leaving them trying to pick up the pieces while surrounded by so much unresolved family drama. But just when he thought that the Braxton family drama couldn't get more tangled, along comes the Starbucks incident. Kevin Sr. shared how he used to take his grandson Z on a little Starbucks outings for some bonding time. Sounds innocent enough, right? Well, apparently not. One day while hanging out at Starbucks, a woman snapped a picture of Kevin Sr. with Z. What started as just a simple photo quickly spread online, and before long, it was sparking all kinds of wild rumors. Some people even started questioning if Kevin Jr.'s son was really his, and suddenly there was a whole lot of unnecessary drama. Tawanda, never one to stay quiet, stepped in and worked with Traci's management team to try and calm things down. They thought they could clear the air, but instead, their efforts only seemed to make things worse. What was supposed to be a casual outing ended up turning into a huge controversy, adding more tension to an already complicated situation. It's a reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control, especially when family drama goes public. Grandson turned into yet another point of contention for Kevin Sr. and the family. It's like the drama just follows his family everywhere they go, and once again, Kevin Sr. was left in the hot seat. Whether it was a genuine misunderstanding or something more intentional, this incident highlighted just how deep the cracks in the PS family relationships really are. But look how things have played out. It's no surprise that Traci would leave everything to her son Kevin Jr. rather than her sisters or her husband, cuz. Let's be honest for a second, the sisters have been accused of mistreating Traci and overlooking all she did, so who's to say they wouldn't have mishandled her wealth and left Kevin Jr. with nothing? By naming him in charge, Traci made sure her legacy was protected and that her son wouldn't be left struggling. As for Kevin SR, even with all the accusations flying around, it seems like he's just trying to look out for his son. Maybe despite everything going on, he's doing his best to make sure Kevin Jr. is taken care of and doesn't have to deal with more hardship. It's a complicated situation, but at the end of the day, he's just trying to do right by his family. Kevin SR seems determined to honor Traci's final wishes and keep her memory alive, even if it means clashing with the Braxton sisters. One thing's clear, Traci trusted Kevin Jr. to carry on her legacy, and Kevin SR is doing everything he can to make sure that happens. So, here we are, another chapter in the never-ending Braxton family drama, but it leaves us with so many questions. Was Traci's decision to leave Kevin Jr. in charge a reflection of how she truly felt about her family? And what does it all mean for the future of her legacy? The story isn't over yet, and it's one that continues to keep us all on the edge of our seats. Do you believe that Kevin Sr. is being unfairly targeted, or do you think that there's more to the sister side of the story? And what does all this mean for the family's legacy moving forward? Let me know what you think in the comments below, because it's getting crazy, and don't you forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the next JW drop, a deep dive, and hey, check out the next video on your end screen, cause it's even more revealing than this one.